as long as we've had mail, there's been the problem of giant piles of mail. Sorting through it, prioritizing it. We try and invent new technology to keep up, but that same technology seems to fill our inboxes faster and faster. Given the pace of change, keeping your skills up to date is an important but daunting task. Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of Organizing Your Google Life. In previous sessions, we covered some of the more basic skills related to organizing your Gmail, such as archiving, changing inbox views, and adding simple labels. This lesson focuses on creating custom mail filters. Filters are probably the most powerful tool in the Gmail toolbox and are a big step up towards creating a truly power user setup. They can automate a lot of your basic sorting and provide relief to the mountain of never-ending email which is getting in the way of your productivity. So, what are filters and how do they work?
Oh no, filter feedback can spoil the taste. Tobacco tastes best when the filter's recessed. Smoke Parliament.
Parliament, with its famous hi-fi recessed filter.
Like a coffee filter, Gmail filters can attempt to separate the rich mountain-roasted flavor of important emails that you want from the bitter grounds of junk mail and distractions. Generally, Gmail filters act like your own personal team of mailmen. It can automatically sort your email and do something useful with it, such as filing it away into folders, forwarding it on to a different address, or even deleting it altogether. Filters can be used in a number of different ways to solve a number of different annoying email problems, and I hope to show you some examples in a moment. But the easiest way to understand how it works is to look at the two parts of a Gmail filter. I call these parts the search and the action. The first part, the search, tells Google what sort of messages you're looking for. The second part, the action, tells Google what you want to do with those messages. Let's look at both of those parts in turn. The reason I describe the first step as the search is that it works precisely the same as searching through your Gmail normally. In fact, you can even start the process from your Gmail search bar. By clicking on this small little gray twisty at the end of your search bar here, you will reveal your search options. As you can see, you have the option to search either all of your mail, or either your inbox or some other folder that you've created. You can search for mail from a particular person, to a particular person, with a particular subject, or containing or missing certain keywords in the body of the message. You can also search for emails that have attachments or not. And it's also important to note that you can combine these things as well. You can search for messages from a particular person, only those with attachments, for example. For most people, I think, the search fields that you see on the screen now are probably all that you'll ever need. You should know, however, that Google does offer a few other wildcards and operations that can be used to construct more advanced filters. Perhaps we'll cover that in another episode. For the time being, though, all you need to do is fill out your search terms, and then right down here at the bottom, if you want to move to the next step, the action, you can create a filter with this particular search. So, by way of example, I'm going to search for emails from my supervisor, John, and I'm going to create a filter with this search, and that will move me on to the next stage, which I call the action. Having defined which emails we're interested in, the next step is simply to tell Gmail what we want to do with those messages. And you'll see, looking down at the dialog box, that we have several options. We can skip the inbox altogether and immediately archive those messages. We can mark the messages as read automatically, without reading them, of course. We can apply a star. We can also apply a label automatically, which is what I'm going to do in this case, because I've created a label for all of the messages from John. So I'm going to apply that label automatically. We can forward it to a different email address. We can delete the message. You can never send it to spam. This is pretty useful if you're having problems with emails ending up mistakenly in your spam folder. You can always mark it as important or never mark it as important, which is useful if you're using your priority inbox, which we discussed in a previous episode. This is an interesting little feature down at the bottom here where you can apply the filter to existing conversations. So you can see if I check this box, it won't only apply the filter to any future email that I get, it will actually go back through my email and apply that filter to any existing emails which match the search that I created a moment ago. This is super useful if you're trying to organize an existing inbox which is out of control. So you can apply these filters and it will actually go back into the past and organize your existing email, which is super useful. So when you've told Gmail what you want to do with those messages, it's simply a matter of creating the filter. And then you should get a confirmation up here, your filter was created. So that's the two-step process for creating a Gmail filter. Step 1, search for the messages that you're interested in. Step 2, the action. Tell Gmail what you want to do with those messages. There's a couple other things I want to show you as well before we get into some examples. If you ever want to get back to your filters to delete them or edit them, you go in through the gear over here and into the settings menu, and you'll see that filters are one of the tabs on this menu. So you can go back in there, you can take any one of your filters, you can get in there, you can edit them, you can adjust the action, or you can delete them altogether. You can also create new filters from here as well. It's also possible to both export and import filters. So once you have a really good setup on your personal Gmail, for example, it's possible to export those filters and then import them into a different Gmail account so you don't have to spend a lot of time duplicating the setup. So that's something good to know as well. Okay, what I'd like to do right now is to kill two birds with one stone. I want to show you a shortcut so that you can quickly and easily create filters right while you're reading your email, which is very useful. And while I'm doing that, I'd just like to show you an example of the types of things that you can do with filters. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to filter all of the messages from technology, integration, and education. These are just messages I get when people register for the blog. I'm an administrator on that blog, so I get these notifications all the time. So this is the sort of thing that would be great to get out of my inbox. So you'll notice that I am reading one of the emails that I get, and with every email you read, if you just pull this little twisty down here, you'll reveal more options. And one of the options is to filter messages like this. If I click on this button, Google's going to quickly make an educated guess about the sort of email they think I'm talking about. So let's see how accurate they are. So again, they've guessed that I'm looking for mail from the technology and integration website, which is correct. That's exactly the type of email that I'm looking for. So Google's correctly identified it, so it's really a very quick matter to just create a filter with that search. I'm going to have it skip the inbox. I'm going to mark it as read so it's not adding to my pile of unread email, and I'm going to apply a label for messages from TIE, and I'm going to create that filter. I'm also going to apply it to 41 matching conversations, so it'll go through my entire pile of mail and apply the filter to my existing mail, not just the mail that comes in the future. Having done all that, I'm going to create my filter, and you'll notice first of all, there are no more messages from TIE in my inbox, but if I scroll down and look at the label, all of the messages are there if I ever need to refer to it. So that's a quick shortcut on how to create those filters, and also one example of how you might use it.
The File-O-Matic desk saves you the trouble of going to the files or opening drawers.
Just because you don't have a File-O-Matic desk, that doesn't mean that you can't have your communications organized efficiently, effectively, and automatically. Remember, these skills work best when combined with some of the other strategies we talked about in previous episodes. This series is all about putting together a toolbox of skills that will help you organize your Google life. Hope you're enjoying it. See you next time.